Hello friends, it's Katie Cat, and welcome back to another video, or welcome for the first time. Today I want to discuss something that's been on my mind for a while, and that's the problem with anime. Don't get me wrong, I adore anime, I love the style, I love most of the stories, I love almost everything about it. It's been something very important to me since I was really young, but there's an issue going on in the industry and I really want to discuss it. Before we get into that though, I want to talk about how exactly I got into anime. Because I technically wasn't allowed to watch it growing up. If you're wondering how my getting into anime and the problem are related, well, have a seat, grab some popcorn, get comfy, because you'll see. The year was 1998, and something aired on what was once called WB Kids. Something I had never seen before. It was colorful and filled with cute creatures and characters with big eyes. My little kid eyes had never seen anything quite like it. I was enamored with it. Everything about it was so cool. The show I'm talking about is Pokemon. I wanted to watch it every Saturday morning. Sadly though, my father got it in his head that it was of the devil and I wasn't allowed to watch it. I would occasionally sneak episodes, but that was really tricky. The same thing happened with Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! If I ever got my hands on Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, I would have to hide them. My parents would always find them though, and they would always proceed to destroy them, be it by tearing them in half, or even literal fire. Those shows and the merchandise were off limits. I especially wasn't allowed to watch Sailor Moon. That show was the most evil. I only ever saw one episode and I have a vague memory of it. Apparently people were being brainwashed to get onto a bus and then taken away forever. If that's how it actually went anyway, I have no idea. My absolute favorite anime discovery happened in 2003 when I was in 6th grade. Maybe it was 7th, I could be wrong. I'm old now and my memory isn't the best. Not the point though. The point is that what I discovered was my first real anime. By real, I mean it wasn't for kids. It was a series that was thought-provoking, a series that had amazing animation, and nothing was censored to Americanify it, like those stupid jelly donuts in Pokemon.
You look kind of down, Ash. Huh? Have a donut. That always cheers me up. Pika pika!
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut!
It's a series that had a compelling story, and is many people's first anime. I'm talking about Full Metal Alchemist. How do you think a Pentecostal preacher felt about an atheist magician creating something out of nothing? Well, he didn't quite care for it, I can tell you that much. So it was something I had to sneak. Back then, I tried to wake up late at night every Saturday to sneak into the living room, had the TV volume turned way too low, and would watch it. Other shows I watched during my late night escapades were Detective Conan, Big O, Evangelion, Scryed, and a lot of others. I also had a good friend of mine, Beth, who helped me out with watching other things. We would watch Naruto, Bleach, and Inuyasha. Her favorite was Inuyasha, so we watched that one a lot. After I turned 14, my parents got a divorce. Me and my sister moved out of state with my mom, but Beth and I tried to stay in contact. We would discuss shows, comics, and manga over the phone and MSN Messenger throughout our years in high school. I also had the privilege to go to a high school where the librarian loved manga. We had a huge manga section. For my 4 years of high school, I read every manga series I could get my hands on, and went on to seek out the anime adaptations for many of them. Thanks to that huge manga selection, those years of sneaking something I loved, and getting to play catch-up with popular series that I had no idea existed, anime became something big that influenced me. It made me want to draw, it made me want to write, it made me and still makes me happy. What was great about anime back then was that it was special. It was harder to come by. Not as many shows were dubbed into English, and many series were actually dubbed by fans on the internet, because none of the studios in America picked up that series. The stories were always well planned out, and the animation was always spectacular for the time period it was made in, because the studios would pour everything that they had into the series. Studios would do everything they could to make something special. When we were able to watch these shows, it was meaningful. Getting anime also took longer. Seasonal anime wasn't really a thing. Sure, anime came out at certain times, but it wasn't cranked out like it is today. That's the problem I want to talk about. The anime industry is becoming oversaturated with anime. It's become quantity over quality. Don't get me wrong though, I don't want to be one of those people saying, back in my day anime was better. A lot of modern anime are great. For example, Devilman Crybaby, My Hero Academia, Golden Time, One Punch Man, Your Lie in April, Recovery of an MMO Junkie. The Netflix adaptation of Death Note is an excellent comedy. But that's a small handful compared to how many series come out in a single year. You've got to admit, a lot of anime now is mindless and swimming in tropes. The animators find a trend, stick to it, pump out at least 100 series in a year, and a lot of it is just lacking. Right now, the trend is isekai, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a power fantasy. It's normally a guy being ultra powerful in another world. Something about him is special. Maybe he's super good at video games, maybe he has a smartphone. It's some small, mundane, average thing that makes him special in this other world. Last year, the trend was musical groups. Okay, not just musical groups, actually. It was idol groups. Singing and dancing girls in cute clothes took over the most popular anime list. In the last 2 years, 2 anime have come out where the protagonist goes to another world with a smartphone, and that makes him special. Side note, I don't care how much magic there is in that world. If there are no cell towers, that phone is not working. Moving on, a lot of anime series seem to have no passion to it nowadays. Not as much as it used to anyway. Animation quality for some series are very low, especially CG series. The story of many series is also just boring. I'll sit down for a show with an interesting concept, then get bored halfway through the first episode sometimes. Either because it's just, well, boring, or I've already seen it before in another show. Another thing that happens sometimes is that I'll be confused by the plot, and I won't care to stick around to find out what's going on. And that only happens when I try picking up random anime from the new season I haven't heard anyone talking about. Back when I had to sneak anime, I wanted to watch as much as possible. I loved the style and the story so much, I was willing to get in trouble to watch it. I was never bored and always inspired by what I watch. I can't say the same anymore, except for the small handful of series that I enjoy from season to season. At this point, it seems like they're just trying to be like every other media industry. Make as much as possible, and hope that something sticks. Lucky for them, some people care so much about watching as much anime as possible, they'll watch it at a sped up rate so they can consume as much anime in a season as possible. And that's how we find out what's good or bad. That's how people find the series that are good, that stick. They then share with other people what's actually good to them. Because literally, no one has the time to watch everything that's coming out. You might be wondering, how exactly do we fix this anime quality issue? Now the answer could be as simple as making less anime. So then, the studios can put more time into the quality of stories and animation, which is what a lot of people think should be done. But the issue could also be resolved by finding out what the audience actually wants. I took to social media and asked some of my friends what they were tired of seeing in anime. Pretty much everyone said fan service. Other people answered the poor portrayal of LGBT people, characters who are useless and always need to be rescued, beach episodes, supernatural schools, forced relationships, and characters being drawn like children no matter what their age is. I then asked what they wanted out of anime. Honestly, I got much less answers for this one, but the few I got were good. Stories with a realistic approach, slice of life, characters naturally overcoming hardships, shows that make fun of a theme well, and as long as Johnny Young Bosch is voicing a character in the dub, it's good. Between these two questions, I know what my friends want from a show. I can actually give them suggestions based off of their answers. Want an unproblematic LGBT anime with great animation? Try Yuri on Ice. Do you want a series that takes the piss out of itself? Try out cute High Earth Defense Club Love. Want a series that doesn't have any fan service? Try Netflix's Death Note. For real though, by finding out what the audience wants, you can supply them with series they will enjoy. Series that will do well. I know that the studios don't normally listen to the Western market, but maybe they should. Maybe what could fix the issue is finding out what both the Japanese and Western markets want out of anime. Then they could make anime series that aren't so copy-pasted anymore. They could come out with something new, series that are original and inspired again. If you're like me and want to see change within the community with anime, and if you're tired of the same thing coming out every season, then this is what we should probably do. We need to expect more out of the creators and the studios. We shouldn't just ingest as much anime as possible. Instead, we should let the creators and studios know what we want. be it by email, by just sending a tweet, or by not watching their shows. Don't give the bad series the numbers, even if it's part of the new season lineup. Granted, don't go harassing anyone. I don't condone that. But still, we need to hold them accountable for what they're creating. And if you're not happy with it, then let them know. Quality over quantity, less fan service, more fan service, better LGBT representation, better stories, more realism, whatever it is you want to see from anime moving forward, let the creators know. That could be just what we need to fix the issue with anime. Anyway, this has been Katie Cat. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you have a good night wherever you might be. Subscribe maybe.